Let's call the meeting to order and rise for the pledge. Give everybody time to stand up.
Yeah, if you can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First off, we need to approve our minutes from the September 6th meeting.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, now we need to open a public meeting up and vote on a couple things during that, from that public hearing. First up, we have an appropriation of $5,369.59 into the plat room maintenance fund for the plat technician. That'll cover help cover the salary for the rest of the year for that employee. And do we have any questions about that? No questions? And the next thing we will be doing is an appointment to the Cambridge City Public Library Board of Trustees. And we will have a public hearing for the Wayne County and the WR budgets. Do we have any questions on any of those things? Public hearing.
Discussed this flat room maintenance before, so.
Yeah. I think we have someone who has a comment.
This is a public comment on the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Howard Price. I'd like to recommend or ask that the Wayne County Commissioners budget some money to take care of the G Street Bridge. Those curbs are terrible. They're an eyesore, it makes Richmond look like a town in decline. They're unsafe. If you drive down through there and you got rocks falling off the curb, you're gonna kick it up onto the sidewalk. If someone were to have a bad day and plow into those curbs where it's decaying, it'll just act like a ramp and come right up on the sidewalk. So it's unsafe. I don't understand. It looks like I've looked at this thing for years and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You can let it go.
I
can respond.
He can respond to that for you, but I was.
Howard Price.
That project is underway. It's scheduled to be bid in either January or February 2024.
That's great.
And should be under construction.
It's a city project, right?
No.
It is a county project for the bridge? Okay, okay.
That is one of the largest bridges in Wayne County, and so it's going to be an expensive project. We've got federal funding. It's been in the federal pipeline for 3 or 4 years now, and it just takes time to get through that process, but
Terrific.
it would be bid early in 2024.
Thank you so much for
You
that
bet.
information. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Was that fast enough?
Was it? Glad we could make your day. So, someone had a motion to.
Yes, I did. To close the
Max had a
hearing.
motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second by Barry, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. So now we need to vote on the appropriation for the plat room maintenance fund. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to transfer 5369.59 into 1181-10701 plat room maintenance fund for the technician. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. And our appointment to the Cambridge City Public Library, I didn't have that. Do I have something in front of me for that? Oh, I'm sorry, I see it. So they would like to submit the name of Ryan Parrish for reappointment for a third term. I personally know Ryan, he's a great guy, and he's done a lot to help the library over there, so I'm sure they're glad that he has agreed to stay on. So does anybody have any objections to that, or would you like to make a motion to appoint him?
Move it.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. And then we will vote on these two things separate. I think the county budget that has been published, not the final budget, not the total accepted budget that will happen in October, and then you wait on the state to come back to us and approve that. But this is just approving what has been published on Gateway. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to that? Surely not. That passes. And then the WUR budget as published.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. That's all taken care of this morning. Commissioners' comments.
Mr. Higginbotham?
Good morning.
Hi.
You have before you your sheet that you've seen every month this year, and this time, just a couple of things to note on this one. Courthouse bathrooms, item number 5, we are reached a point where we're going to do a punch list walkthrough for that project next Monday. So whatever we find on that punch list, they'll finish up, so I anticipate that we'll be finished with that probably going into November.
It's a tour. We had a tour of how bad they were. I'd like to see them now that they're done. I'd take it the swinging bar doors are gone and everything, right?
Just take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
The technology in this room, as you can tell, the microphones have been, we've been working on the settings on that, and it seems to be working with all the places up here. The jail window replacement, we've got word that they'll be starting that project in 4 to 6 weeks. If you recall, those are the ones that were all broken out inside the jail cells. Actually, they're cracked, they're not broken out. And then the First Bank Expo Hall HVAC, that'll start November 10th. They're going to be pouring the foundations for those 2 outside units next week. There's about a 13-day window that we have with rentals in that building, so they're going to start hanging of the duct work so that the inside work can get done, and then they can move to the outside. The current heaters and HVACs will still be working. Transition over to the new one shouldn't be but a day or 2.
I have a question on that. Conservation Days is out there November, I forget, 14, 15, 15, 16. So are you going to be done before or after that?
Are they in Expo or are they in Coleman?
Last year you were in Expo. I helped do workshop.
Both buildings.
I'll check, but I think I've talked to Brad Terhar about this, and he is coordinating with the contractor to make sure that it doesn't disrupt any rentals that we have out there. So
I just want to
I
make
think
sure.
we've got that covered, but I'll make sure.
Okay, thanks.
And then last, then the bottom number there, as you know, that one-time balance fund of yours is at slightly less than $300,000. And again, as I've said, we anticipate spending that $1.8 million that you see in that lower right-hand corner, but you do have an appropriation scheduled for the workshop, so I think that will cover that. What I asked today then on items number 18 and 19, annex main service upgrade and the annex ejector pump panels. Those 2 numbers you've seen all year, and we've confirmed that those are good numbers. And I would ask that the commissioners have approved these projects, and I would ask that you would approve that money to pay for those projects not to exceed those amounts.
Total over here, are they?
Not yet.
Okay.
Correct.
What's the anticipated timeline on this?
from start to completion. The,
But it would be completed when you need to look.
well, just as soon as you appropriate. The first one, number 18, is a weekend project. They need to do that on the weekend because it's a shutdown of the entire building. So once we give the go-ahead on that project, it'll be completed pretty quick. The other ones, my guess is, Max, that there'd be some components that they have to order, and that would probably run into the first of the year.
Proceed with those two items.
We have a motion by Max to proceed with those two items. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There were none. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Steve, can you put numbers with that? Or do we just gonna go ahead and use those numbers for workshop? Because we need to add those into this total. Gotcha. Thank you.
Just a couple of things. Number one, you may have heard already, but Matthew Kane, our director of EMA, was chosen as the Director of the Year for 911 by the Indiana 911 Professionals Association at their recent conference. So congratulations to Matthew. He's always done an outstanding job for his team. Are very proud of that honor, for sure. The AIC conference was last week. Max and Kathy and I and Mary Ann Butters and several other office holders were at that conference. A lot of good information. There will be some opportunities for us to share some of that with you in the coming weeks. Some ideas that we'll want to try out in Wayne County to improve our processes. So we'll be talking much more about that in the coming days. We had our annual auction on Saturday. As you know, we have made it a practice of kind of saving up things and having one auction in the fall each year. The cars, I believe there were 8 or 10 cars and light trucks that were auctioned off. Those all brought good prices. Most everything else brings next to nothing. $1 for a skid or a table full of stuff. And so we've been looking at some alternatives to that process. Just to hold all that stuff for up to a year in storage is an expensive proposition, moving it around all the time. And then it fills up our maintenance building, prevents them from using it for other things. So we're going to look at alternatives to disposing of that equipment. Max and I, Kathy had the opportunity to talk to a couple of folks that do online auctions. So we may take that to the fleet management and try that out to see how it works for us. Frequent online auctions, so instead of holding a car for 6 or 8 or 12 months, sitting out somewhere, we can get rid of it as soon as we do. It's of more value to the county. So we'll be looking at alternatives there and talking to you about how we implement some of those things. So,
Jeff, what was the total proceeds?
it was
Oh.
6,000. And most of that came from the cars and trucks that were sold with average in the 6,000 range for each of those, and I think there were 10 of them. So we'll see where we go with that. I do have a couple of transfers that we need to take care of. The Finance Committee, it's your pleasure there. Tell
You're
me-
ready.
tell me
Okay.
each one of the details.
Okay.
There are two that, one has to do with a contract we have with Baker Tilly to work with us on our meetings on this to have somebody to double check the reporting that we do and to ask questions of when we're unsure of what we need to do, how we need to handle a situation. This is something that can come out, can be paid out of the 2.78 million that is under the original rules from the Treasury. So we're limited in what we can do with that money. So it seems to me like that would be a good area to take that out of. The contract is for up to $15,000. So I would recommend transferring $15,000 from either the grant administrator line item, which was never filled, or the community coordinator. If you recall, the community coordinator, Beth Field's position, we got a grant for $20,000 for this year from Oprah to offset her salary, and so we could take $15,000 out of that. Either one would be fine.
I do.
Find it, so you've got the line items and everything.
Kind of suggested to, that we create line item 33080, which would be,
Contractual.
sorry, what did you say?
Contractual.
Actual. In, ARPA Fund 8952 and transfer 15,000 from Fund 8952 to that line item 33080. And so we would be taking it from the ARPA. First of all, I guess we need to create line item 33080.
I move that we create that line item.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We've got all the paperwork ready for you.
Discussion whether that's a proper appropriation number. So if it's not,
The 3308 is okay.
okay,
You was asking them another.
what was the other? Okay.
So, now, we need a motion to transfer 15,000 from Fund 8952 to the line item 33.
Second.
Motion and a second. I don't know if you're doing this
I
or
should be doing this. Oh, yeah, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. That motion passes.
Next, Jeff.
The other one would be sheriff's vehicles, and I apologize, Tony's got the information in front of him.
It would be
We're
to
gonna do it
transfer
in-
58,240 from ARPA Fund 8952, capital expenditures, line item 44,500 to ARPA sheriff's vehicles, line item 44,420.
So there was a line item already for 200,000 for sheriff's vehicles, but that actual cost came in at 200.
58,240.
So we need to transfer that 58,240 into the sheriff's vehicles.
You have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
That's all I have unless there are any questions.
Thank you. You have something, Mark?
Yeah, just, you finalized an appropriation this morning that allowed me to hire a person in, out of my regular budget in the auditor's office to do the grants, and figure out what we're doing with those. And I just thought it appropriate to tell you, this is the lady that's gonna do it.
Okay.
Her name is Simone.
Simona Hill.
Simona Hill.
Nice to meet you.
Just an introduction.
All right, we're glad that you found somebody so quickly and somebody to take over
She
that
knows
task.
what she's doing.
That's awesome.
That's the only thing I can say.
That's good. All right. If we don't have anything further, our next council meeting will be November 3rd at 8 a.m. And our workshop will be October 18th at 6 p.m. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.